When I started playing guitar at the age of 10, hard rock and metal was all that I cared about. AC/DC, Metallica, Pantera, Guns N' Roses. This was the only kind of music I wanted to learn and practice. That was until I was 13 years old and I was introduced to the likes of Stevie Ray Vaughan, Joe Bonamassa, and Gary Moore, as well as many other blues and blues rock guitarists. My attention as a student of the guitar quickly shifted to blues music, and I became utterly obsessed with learning as much as I could about playing the genre. I bought books, I bought DVDs, I trawled the internet for free online lessons, I watched live footage of my blues guitar heroes over and over and over again. I even started a cover band with my friends in high school, and we began playing blues covers in the local pubs that we were far too young to be playing gigs in. In fact, here's a video of us playing Texas Flood when I think I was around 15 years old.
Rock
It would be fair to say that during this time, despite my guitar skills improving overall, my abilities as a blues improviser hit a ceiling pretty early on, and it wasn't until several years later that I addressed the cause of this and broke through to a higher skill level that allowed me to feel free as a blues improviser. If I could sum up the holes in my playing at the time, it could all be traced back to one specific problem. I was only comfortable playing over one out of the three chords in a 12-bar blues progression, that being the one chord. I had a memorized bag of minor pentatonic licks that I could shred over this chord, but when the 4 and 5 chords arrived, all of a sudden I would hear these clashes between my note choices and the underlying harmony. Anytime I had to improvise over the change from, say, the 1 to the 4 chord, I had no real plan in place. I would just continue to do my minor pentatonic thing over the 1 chord and hope and pray that I wouldn't land on anything too sour when the 4 chord arrived. This made me feel anxious and exposed, and consequently I would tense up in anticipation of this chord coming up in the progression every time. But those horrible anxiety-inducing feelings of being exposed would 10x when the 5 chord appeared in the turnaround. My note choices over the 4 chord were problematic enough, but the arrival of the 5 chord truly threw me into a panic. As a result, my improv over this chord felt like a roll of the dice, and again, I would just hope and pray that I wouldn't land on anything that sounded too out of key. But unfortunately, those prayers almost always went unanswered. Needless to say, I greeted every return to the 1 chord with a sigh of relief. It was like, I'm home and safe. Let's play that minor pentatonic lick again and hope that it makes up for the absolute mess you just made of that turnaround. I felt chained to the minor pentatonic or the blues scale. I did not feel free when improvising a blues solo. And whilst I had good technical abilities, I knew that I didn't truly understand the 12-bar blues and the chords involved. I didn't know the fretboard well enough. I didn't know much at all about the language of music. As a result, I reached a point where I sort of gave up on blues, because not only did I lack knowledge in the areas I just described, I didn't even know what questions to ask in order to find the answers that would fix these glaring holes in my blues improv. Fast forward to my early 20s, I had just graduated from music school with a degree in popular music. I had spent 4 years studying guitar and music in general at an academic level, and my knowledge and skill level had drastically improved. I'm not about to tell you that you need to do the same, but what I will say is that during this time, I learned things about the language of music that enabled me to arrive at a definitive answer to the question of why can't I improvise confidently through all 3 of the chords in a 12-bar blues? The answer was that the 12-bar blues chord progression is not diatonic harmony. Diatonic harmony could be described as a chord progression containing notes that naturally occur within a particular scale. For example, you may have heard of a chord progression known as a 2-5-1. This is something that jazz musicians practice all the time. And if you were to play a 2-5-1 in the key of A major, That would give you the chords B minor 7, E7, that being E dominant 7, and A major 7. All of which are chords that only contain naturally occurring notes from the A major scale. That's diatonic harmony in a nutshell. Why is a 12-bar blues progression not one that could be considered diatonic harmony? Well, let's look at the chords in a 12-bar blues in the key of A. So we've got A dominant 7, D dominant 7, and E dominant 7. What do they all have in common? They are all the same chord type. They are all dominant 7th chords. There is no scale that exists that naturally contains 3 dominant 7th chords built from the root, 4th, and 5th scale degrees. Not the major scale, not Mixolydian, not the blues scale. And someone right now is probably typing,
well, the chromatic scale actually contains all 12 notes, so actually...
That's not helping anyone. The fact that the blues is not diatonic harmony presents us with a problem. If the chords don't all come from one scale, then there is no one scale fits all approach to improvising over it. An argument could be made for the blues scale, but using it in isolation, I guarantee you, is not going to have you improvising blues solos that highlight each chord change with the same degree of sophistication that you hear from the likes of modern blues guitar greats like Robben Ford, Kirk Fletcher, Matt Schofield, Josh Smith, Joe Bonamassa, the list goes on. This means that in order to improvise a blues solo that highlights the chord changes, you need to look beyond the minor pentatonic or blues scale and even beyond using scales as your only improvisational tool. Great, so what's next for the person watching this who's hungry to make big changes in their blues playing? Well, since I like you so much and I want to express my gratitude for you clicking on my video, I made you a gift. If you click the first link in the description box, that's going to take you to my free Blues Improvisation Masterclass that will completely change your outlook on blues soloing in just over an hour. There are 87,600 hours in a decade. And yes, I did Google that 5 minutes before we started recording. But if that's how long you've been in a rut with your blues playing, but you still pick up the guitar almost every day, give me one good reason why you aren't willing to spare an hour of your time and $0 learning from a video that will free you from your minor pentatonic prison cell, put you on the path towards blues improvisation progress once again, and save you another 87,600 hours of being unsatisfied with your skills. In this masterclass, you will learn more about why blues is not diatonic harmony and how, as a result, the exclusively minor pentatonic approach has likely failed you in the same ways that it failed me for years. And through studying a 12-bar blues solo that highlights the chord changes tastefully, if I may say so myself, you'll learn about my preferred approaches to improvising over all 3 chords in the 12-bar blues progression. You'll get tab files and backing track downloads to practice with once the masterclass is over. And don't get me wrong, watching it once is not going to have you playing like Robben Ford in an hour, but it will be a step in the right direction, which is huge if you haven't taken a forward step for years. I sincerely hope that this free masterclass enables you to take that first forward step and get back to deriving joy from playing blues guitar solos. And if it does, all I ask in return is that after you've watched it, you come here back to this YouTube video and leave a review in the comments section. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon.